other day I was on Twitch murdering people with friends, as you do, and Richard Dawkins' name came up, and I quite cluelessly asked if he was still alive. Not to say that I thought he would be dead, because presumably if he died, that would have made the news. But I was really wondering whether or not he was still doing his Richard Dawkins thing of sticking his foot in his mouth over on Twitter. Well, friends, I regret to inform you that Richard Dawkins is very much alive and is doing what UK skeptics have quickly become famous for, which is being wrong about trans people. First, I learned that he was approvingly retweeting a Times article by Trevor Phillips, something I was quite excited about because I was really wondering what that guy's been up to since GTA 5. Turns out it's someone else, someone much dumber. This Trevor Phillips is very upset because putting a period after the word great in a text message is seen by some young people as sarcastic, and he does not understand that, and it scares him. This is somehow related to a Guardian columnist who resigned after stating that trans women aren't women, which is both rude and obviously wrong because hello, the word women is right there in trans women. It's like saying that airplane mechanics aren't mechanics. Only mechanics are mechanics. Like, no, the word is right there. Trans women are women. Also, according to Phillips, it's very upsetting that Cambridge University has been manipulated into overturning centuries of dedication to freedom of thought and tolerance. What did Cambridge University do to destroy free speech? Well, they are proposing a change in statutes that would require staff to display respect for the views of all colleagues. Hold on. So by asking their staff to respect all views, that's less free speech? Wouldn't respecting all views lead to more free speech because people who hold controversial views would feel more free to express those views, since the staff would be discouraged from disrespecting those views? I'm honestly so confused about this because I'm pretty sure if Cambridge University announced that they would not respect, say, anti-transgender views, to pick one stance at random, then Phillips and Dawkins and others would be extremely upset. I'd like to say something as someone who is often extremely disrespectful to people who have differing opinions from mine when I feel that those opinions do real harm to the rest of the world. In a university setting, it's okay to have some standards of professionalism. I'm not going to walk into some Christian theology professor's classroom at Cambridge and shout, "Your magical sky daddy likes watching you jerk off." I mean, that would be disrespectful. It's a university, not r/atheism. Over on Ferangula, PZ Myers notes that Dawkins was recently featured on a radio program discussing this very upsetting Cambridge University respect rule. And PZ transcribed a bit of it so that we don't have to subject ourselves. Thank you, PZ. The radio host brings up a message from a listener, Zoe. Zoe says, as a post-op transsexual woman married to a man and being a respectful member of society, I would hope to be respected as a person rather than being merely tolerated. Otherwise, incorrect assumptions and bigotry will thrive. And she asks what Dawkins would say to Zoe. This is his reply. I would say if she wants to be called she, I am very happy to call her she. That's a matter of courtesy. But if she wants me to say she's a woman when she has an XY karyotype, then as a biologist, then I would say that I would define a woman as a biologist as a member of the species Homo sapiens with XX karyotype. That's a matter of definition. People can say what they want to be called, and I'm happy as a matter of courtesy I do this myself. A person who was a man who becomes a woman, I'm happy to use pronouns like she, but I'm not happy to be dictated to and told that you must use this pronoun as a matter of law or coercion. PZ rightly points out that that did not answer her question at all. She didn't ask what Dawkins thought of pronouns, only if he thought that she deserved to be respected as a human being with thoughts and feelings. But also, I want to point out that this bit was seriously embarrassing when Dawkins says, I would say that I would define a woman as a biologist as a member of the species Homo sapiens with XX karyotype. Yikes. 1 in 2,500 girls is born with only one X chromosome, a condition known as Turner syndrome. That's about 3 million women living in the world today who would not fit Richard Dawkins' personal definition of what a woman is. And it is a personal definition, not a biological definition. And FYI, Turner syndrome or exomosaicism is one of the rarer karyotypes. That's why people who actually study sex chromosomes tend to push back against that kind of overly simplistic understanding of genetics. Like, for instance, evolutionary geneticist Dr. Shea Akil-McLean, who points out on Twitter, in humans, there are 6 common sex karyotypes: XX, XY, XXY, XXXY, and XYYY. And there are 4 rare sex karyotypes: XO, XO, XX mosaicism, XY, XXY mosaicism, and XXY, XXXY, XXXXY mosaicism. Quite a mouthful. It is helpful to teach little children the simplest version of our genetic story because it's easier for them to grasp. Girls have XX chromosomes and boys have XY chromosomes. We do this for pretty much every area of science. But once you're an adult, if you have had any schooling at all, you should know better. And if you're a biologist, even one who hasn't actually worked in the sciences in several decades, you should know a lot better. Luckily for Dawkins, if he's ever invited back to Cambridge University, his pseudoscientific understanding of genetics would not be shut down with rotten tomatoes, as it maybe ought to be, but instead will be respectfully corrected by working scientists who actually know what they're talking about. Sadly, I don't expect Dawkins to quite grasp the irony of that.